Hi, hello, hey! In this video, I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how I do my colorful sketches to prepare for watercolor paintings. So a little while ago, I did this painting, but I'm not completely happy with it. Like the shading and stuff, I just don't really like it, and I think I can do better, but I like the pose and the outfit. So I had an idea to redo it on a bigger sheet of paper, and hopefully this time it'll turn out better. And the last thing I wanted to show was this is where I got the reference photos for the outfit, hair, and this drawing on this page is what inspired this whole painting. I really liked the pose, and I thought the back of her dress was really pretty. And I took inspiration from her dress too. I love this bow thing right here. I think is so cool. And also from her pearl headpiece thing. I thought that was really pretty too. Hi, voiceover me here. So this doesn't really matter too much since I'm doing the sketch, but I did decide to change the colors. I thought the colors were a little boring in the original painting. So I did this little sketch in my sketchbook, and I think that's what the colors are going to be. But again, this is the sketch, so don't really focus on that too much. Also, during this, my sketchbook broke. The little bookmark ribbon thing fell off. The glue was still kind of sticky on it, so I just shoved it back in there, and we will see how long that lasts. Since I'm going to be drawing on such a big piece of paper, I got the tabletop easel out, and I hate filming when I'm using this thing, just because I feel like the camera angle is really bad, and I feel like my room is messy, so I don't really like that you can see the background. But there's a sleeping cat, so maybe that balances it out. Also, the reason I like to use this for sketching specifically is because when a giant piece of paper is flat on a table, your view of it is kind of elongated instead of when it's upright in your face like this. It's easier to see the whole piece of paper and harder to mess up the anatomy, so it's helpful. And now I'm grabbing my favorite sketching tool, Prismacolor col-erase pencils. I love them so much. But a couple years ago, they stopped selling the colors individually, so that is why I have so many. It's because when they stopped selling them individually, I went kind of crazy at the art store, to get them before they were gone. And yeah, these are my normal ones, so I grabbed some new ones that haven't been sharpened yet from my little drawer. And I'm so sad you can't get them individually anymore. I did see you can get a couple of the colors individually, but of course not the ones that I like, so that's really helpful. My favorite and most used colors are the two pinks. There's a light pink and a darker pink, and also a purple that I use a lot. But yeah, you can't get this one individually anymore. You have to buy a set of 12 to get the couple colors that you use. Okay, we're on to step 1 of the drawing. So step 1 is I do circles and or lines for where I want all the stuff to be. So I'll do a circle for the head and just lines for the arms, just to see where I want everything to be. And I don't know if other people do this, probably, but this is the most helpful thing. And then I kind of see where it all is on the paper, and then I'll make the head circle bigger or smaller, and just to see how I can fit it all on the piece of paper. Then after I mess around with that for a little bit, I'll get into actually drawing it. And I'm also using a kneaded eraser, which are if you don't know, these weird erasers that you can kind of shape. They're very helpful since they don't erase the lines completely. They just kind of erase the top layer so you can still see your line, but you could add another layer of sketch over it. And so they're helpful for me if I want to go over the lines, but I want to be able to see the old ones so I can kind of see where the mistakes are and stuff, if that makes sense. Also, I think I forgot to say this, but the pencil I'm starting out with is the light pink Prismacolor pencil. And it's it's really light, so sometimes it's hard to see, especially on video. But it is also helpful that it's really light, so it's a good starting color so you can erase it a bunch of times because it's so light. Also, fun fact about these pencils, and one of the reasons is that they're so helpful. I'm not really sure how this works, but they kind of erase with water a little bit. So when you paint over them, your sketch fades, which is really helpful, especially with watercolor, because there's a lot of water. I'm not really sure like why they do that or how they do that, but I've noticed it and I approve. Although sometimes I will completely lose my sketch and then I can't see where I want the lines to be, which is like kind of annoying. But for the most part, that's a helpful trait that they have. So now I'm getting more into like the details, and the first detailed thing I'm doing is the hands, mostly just to like get it over with, you know, because they are kind of annoying. I do like drawing hands. I think it like adds to the drawing. Well, maybe it's more like I like having hands in my paintings, but actually like drawing them is kind of annoying. But they're not too bad. I kind of tend to draw the same hands. I feel like every drawing, I feel like they kind of have like similar pose. So sometimes I feel like I have like same face syndrome like with my hands, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing, but I do feel like I need to practice hands because whenever I do one that's like not the way I always draw them, then I cannot draw them. So I can draw the same thing. And now I'm doing the first layer on the face, just seeing where I want everything to go. And like, don't do this part too dark because at least with me, I tend to erase the face like a lot. So I start out very light without adding like too many details like the eyelashes or anything, just to make sure that I like it. And then when I decide that I do like it, then I will add more details. And now I'm doing the same thing with the hair where I'm not like adding like the ringlets or anything, but I'm just like getting the shape down. For most of the sketch, I used the same color. So for now, I'm still using the same color, but I'll get to it a little bit later when I start using the other pencils as well. I got a comment recently that said I don't have to talk through like the whole video, and I wanted to address it because I was thinking, I was like, is it that obvious that I don't have any spaces in my videos and I'm just like talking the whole time? But yeah, also the reason why I talk the whole time is because I know a lot of other artists, they'll have like music in between when they don't have like stuff to say. And I think that's like fine, but normally when I'm watching art videos, I'm like usually like listening to them when I'm working on a different drawing. And so when it goes in between like talking to like music, it always like weirds me out. I'm like, what? And then a lot of times, you know, since it's like on YouTube, you have to use like copyright free music, and then like the music's like not very good. So yeah, that's why I just talk about boring stuff the whole time, basically. Good old space filler. Okay, so now I'm using a different color, and I'm using this color for the flowers, like the roses mostly, in this drawing. And so one of the things I do when I do these like colorful sketches is I'll do like each thing in a different color. So this one doesn't have like really a background besides it's just like one flat color, but if I'm doing a background, I'll have the background be in a different color too, and just like different elements in different colors. And that just helps me when I'm painting like know like which lines are for like which object. So like in the hair, I like sometimes will get like the hair or like flower lines confused. I'm like, which one of those lines is a flower line and which one is like a hair line? But if I do two different colors, then it's a lot more obvious like what thing belongs to what. And I'll also have more important lines in like a darker color. One thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing the different colors though is like what colors you're going to paint like over them. So I'm doing orange for the flowers because I'm going to paint them pink. So I think pink will layer over the orange like okay. But if I'm doing like maybe like purple flowers and I was layering it over orange, the orange and the purple color might kind of like mix and make the color look less purple. So I wouldn't use orange for the flowers if I was using purple or like a color that looked bad. Or like blue. I feel like blue and orange like that maybe to kind of turn brown. So I do keep in mind like what colors I'm going to paint over it when choosing like what colors I want to sketch with what. And that is also why my favorite Prismacolor color erase is the pink ones, because layering those with portraits just looks so nice. It just adds like a little bit of pink, and I think that looks good. You know, it works with the portraits. And also I am a little biased since it's my favorite color, so there's that too. But yeah, I think it works pretty well with the portraits. And now I'm about to get out the purple pencil. A lot of times I'll use the purple to kind of like finalize the lines. And I think I'm also drawing like the eyelashes for the first time. But yeah, so I'll use this to like go over the pink and just like have the final lines be like darker so they don't like completely erase while I'm painting, so I don't like lose the lines. But this color is still pretty light, so it does like erase enough that it doesn't look too bad or too dark in like the final painting, and you shouldn't be able to see it too much. Here's some fun filler for you. So I was actually planning for the sketching and painting to all be in one video, but then the sketch kind of took a while, and I was like, maybe it would be better to make it in 2 videos anyway, so you can like, I don't know, so it won't be as long and so I can like release it faster. So yeah, now it is a 2-parter, I guess. I erased the eyes like a million times. I don't know why, but I just like couldn't get them to look right. So I eventually had to bring out this like blue mechanical pencil. And I have a couple different colors of these. These are the Pilot Color Eno mechanical pencils. And I just got them off Amazon, and I thought it was a really cool idea. There's like mechanical colored pencils, but I actually like don't really like these too much, so I probably wouldn't get them again. For some reason, the lead like constantly breaks on these, and I was also having like trouble with like the lead like kept moving around in the pencil. Like if I pushed down like at all, which you know you kind of have to do to like draw, the lead would go like back up in the pencil, and it was like driving me crazy. So I don't really know why it was doing that. I thought maybe because there was like not any more lead in the pencil, but there was, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't really like these mechanical pencils too much, but they are really helpful for doing like really tiny lines that I want to be in color. Also, I was literally just talking about not putting like orange and purple together, but I ended up doing it for the flowers. I didn't think the orange lines were dark enough, so I used like a dark purple mechanical pencil to make them darker. But I am kind of scared to paint over them because I think I'm going to make the roses like light pink. And you might be able to see the orange and purple through, so they might look a little bit weird. So yeah, that is future me's problem, I guess, when I do the painting. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Also, apparently I like lost my ruler, so I had to use like a piece of paper to measure it, or to make like a straight line, which works, but I still like don't know where my ruler is. I'm sure it's around here somewhere, but I always leave it on the same spot on my table, and I went to grab it and then it was gone. I decided to make the dress a little bit more detailed in this one. I kind of like simplified some of like the, I don't even know what that's called, like the lace. Is that lace? Whatever she has on her back that I just drew, I kind of simplified it in my first painting, but I decided to make it more detailed. And I think that was a good decision, but it did take forever to draw. And now I'm erasing all of the lines I don't want that I forgot to erase or that the needed eraser didn't erase. And here is the final sketch. I do think it turned out pretty cool, and I'm really excited to paint this painting. I think the final thing is actually going to turn out good this time. I forgot to record this, but on the hair, I decided to make each like ringlet kind of go back and forth between like the purple and the blue, just so they would like stand out against each other. Because like whenever I draw these, it's kind of hard to tell like where one stops and where another one starts, like when I'm like doing like the painting. And then when I paint over the sketch enough times, like I can't tell where the lines are anymore. So anyway, I've never done this before where I alternate between colors, but hopefully it'll help me out because I do get confused a lot while painting this hairdo. So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Actually, fun fact, really hate the way my sketches look like before I paint them, just like without shading. But you know, if I add shading, it'll be kind of hard to paint over it with watercolor, so I'm not going to. Next week, maybe. Hopefully I will have a video of me doing the painting for this so you can see how it turns out and how the colors turn out. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching my sketch video, and yeah, bye!